Hey yo, what is up, guys? Your boy is back, and this is actually sort of a sequel video to one I made back in October about Bray Wyatt and when he first returned and how excited I was for his big return and how I was watching all his old matches and stuff pre his release in WWE. So, let's talk about everything that's happened since he's come back because there's a lot of mixed opinions on this, and yeah, like not everyone's very happy with not necessarily his return, but how his returns panned out. And yeah, so there's a lot of just mixed things going on about it. Some people like what's happening, some people kind of understand it, other people don't. So let's talk about it. All right, so for starters, when he first returned to SmackDown, he had that great promo talking about how he lost his confidence and how he was weak and he was down. He had people pick him up, and yeah, it was a really, really great emotional promo that resonated with me quite a lot. And yeah, I think it was a really, really beautiful promo. So for that promo alone, it gets a huge thumbs up for me. And yeah, I thought it was really, really great. So spiraling from this whole promo, he began a feud with LA Knight. And now there was a big thing from Seth Rollins saying about how people don't get as over when they wrestle Bray Wyatt as when they come into it. But this is really quite the opposite because coming out of the whole thing, LA Knight got to show off a lot of personality, got to get over his catchphrases, got to get over his promos. He had someone to duel with who's also just as good on the microphone as he is. So there was a lot of that going on here, and yeah, so I would say like the promos for this feud, I was always really glued to the TV whenever this was going on because you never knew what was going to happen or what like a big reveal was coming. So like for starters, it was LA Knight being attacked in the parking lot after slapping Bray Wyatt, and like that was a great segment too, where he slapped Bray Wyatt twice, and Bray Wyatt was like gonna freak out, and like he's like, no, I'm not that person anymore. That was really, really great, and yeah, so there was a lot of really great just promos, and just it was a good start off feud for Bray Wyatt to really just establish his character and also establish LA Knight on the main roster and show that LA Knight's, in my opinion, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about him later. Anyways, so Bray Wyatt is then they end up announcing a match for Bray Wyatt at the Royal Rumble in the Pitch Black match. And so the whole time I was really, really into this feud. I really liked it. I know some people weren't really into it for some reason. I don't know. I thought the whole segment on Raw with The Undertaker was really, really cool. And Bray Wyatt hit that Sister Abigail on. Undertaker passed him over to Bray, and then Bray says something to him. And no, Undertaker said something to Bray. And yeah, and then we had that cool segment where LA Knight came out with the tiny lamp. Like this is a really memorable feud, to be honest with you. Like the fact is, like, I don't have the best memory for a lot of things, like over things I just watched. And yeah, then I watched this, but like I remember so much about this feud and the promos and LA Knight telling Bray Wyatt, you can stick your little puppets wherever they give you pleasure, and you can feel it all up in your loins. Like LA Knight just was like, and it just, like I said, just really helped establish both guys and their characters and how they're just completely different. And yeah, I really liked it. So yeah, let's talk about the match at the Royal Rumble. So I did do my review in this, so most of you already kind of know my thoughts on this. I thought it was a really big disappointment. I just didn't really know what to make of it at the time because it was just really weird, and everything was just happening so quickly because it's like I'm watching the show, and then I kind of got to like remember it for my review. So it's kind of a little bit different, but yeah, I just felt like the match was really short. I didn't really like certain things like Bray getting hit with the kendo stick and just walking him down like he's Michael Myers. I didn't really like that very much. And then Uncle Howdy, like it's like you just didn't really know what to make out of this. You kind of just wanted to see Bray Wyatt just have a match, and that was it. And just have the match and not have any of the theatrics around it because we haven't really got to see him wrestle in a long time. So I think that was really a big part of the issue with that match. And it was just really built up for months on end. So for it to be kind of like that kind of sucked. So going into Elimination Chamber, Bray calls out Brock Lesnar or Bobby Lashley, and everyone's kind of like sitting there going, why did he call out Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar? Like, this is really weird and interesting. And then it got everyone speculating on what was going to happen because we were all like talking about, oh, Brock and Bobby at WrestleMania. Brock and Bobby are going to have a match at WrestleMania. But then Bray does this, and we're all like, huh? what? And yeah, so I would be interested to see either match. I'm always just kind of interested to see like matches now. Like I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, we got to get this match together, and like, well, that would just be such a great match. I'm not really. I'm interested in seeing like the dynamics and the characters, and I'm always just kind of foreseeing different new things. You know what I'm saying? Trying new things. So yeah, I'm kind of like, at first I didn't really like Brock versus Bray back in 2016 because Bray was kind of a geek loser back then. To be honest with you, he always lost, and it just didn't seem very compelling back then. But now it would be kind of interesting. But then I heard like some people were talking about doing like a whole buddy cop thing with Bobby Lashley. It was the Ringer Wrestling podcast. I listen to that a lot now. And yeah, they're just talking about this whole buddy cop thing where Brock and Bobby have to try and solve this supernatural mystery. And I was like, that is such a great idea. That is hilarious. I wish that was the idea. That was actually really, really funny. And I think it'd be really entertaining. Uh, Anyways, so as you all know, Brock kicked Bobby in the nuts, and now Bobby's got to deal with Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. And yeah, this leads to the whole current day where Bray's doing the whole muscle man thing, which is kind of what a lot of people are saying is like the reason Bray is targeting Bobby is because he's the stereotypical WWE guy, jacked, tall, muscular, just like all that stuff. Like he's a powerhouse. So yeah, that's kind of like why Bray is, and people just kind of missed it because he did that whole Muscle Man promo. Because it's like, and a lot of people thought it was funny too because it's like, how do you make fun of someone who's perfect? You make fun of them for being perfect because it's like everyone would probably want to look like Bobby Lashley, but so it's like you can't really make fun of him for any like thing wrong with them. So let's just make fun of him for being perfect. So yeah, it was actually pretty funny. And then Bobby brawled with Uncle Howdy on SmackDown. He hit him with a spear. So yeah, I didn't really mention Uncle Howdy throughout this, and that's really, I feel like I kind of messed up on that. Uncle Howdy, yeah, the whole thing with him and being separate from Bray, and we didn't know if they were the same person, what the connection is. We don't really know anything too much about them, or if Uncle Howdy's going to be a wrestler, or what the whole thing is here. So I think that's kind of part of the issue is like we just don't know anything right now, and it just seems like everything's taking forever. We're not really getting any advancements on it. So they're not really telling us anything, and it just kind of like feels like it's just there to be strange and weird. So yeah, that is kind of an issue where it's like you don't really understand a lot of this stuff, even though I kind of like these little Firefly Funhouse segments. And yeah, so it is kind of interesting seeing all this stuff. It's like it is visually interesting, and I'm intrigued because it's like you never know like what little details are going to be in there, or like what you'll catch, what you don't catch. And yeah, so it's just kind of really interesting to see which way they go with this. And yeah, and it does seem kind of convoluted, but it's also interesting. And yeah, I don't really know. I don't like, I'm kind of in the middle on it, but I do have an idea to kind of like I think would fix most of the issues here. And yeah, I think the issue is that Bray just doesn't wrestle on television, and we never get to see him wrestle and have matches. Like it's like someone said, it's great that he wants. Yeah, he has a horror movie coming out, and if he wants to go be an actor, go be an actor. But you're a pro wrestler, so you have to go in the ring and wrestle. Like it's sad to say that like on TV. He's only wrestled 5 minutes this year, and we haven't got to see him wrestle. And it's like, I don't like this whole part timer stuff. It's like, just put him in the ring. Like, they had him have a match with Jinder Mahal at MSG. So it's like, just have him come out and like have like a match with someone, and he just smokes them. And that way we'll all get to see more and more out of Bray. And yeah, so that's what I kind of think the issue is that we're just not getting enough of seeing him wrestle in the ring. And I think a lot of people would really like that. I think it would really help things out because it wouldn't make like the whole convoluted storytelling that much, when it would really help that, because we'd actually get to see him wrestle still and see what he's doing. So just have him come out and squash people and have matches against people, and yeah, just to reestablish himself, because that's why it kind of feels like we haven't gotten anywhere, because like we haven't gotten any matches, and this is a pro wrestling show, so we want to see pro wrestling. So I'd say that's really the biggest issue with this whole thing. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Bray Wyatt. I got some thoughts on the WrestleMania main event that I'm going to post a video on this week. I ordered my caption card, so hopefully I'll be able to post some gameplay for you guys of some WWE games and maybe some Ninja Turtle games if you guys be up for that. Yeah, so like the video, comment, subscribe, guys, and let's keep this train rolling. Anyways, peace out.